Yo, what is going on, you guys? It's your boy King Sanders here. We are back with another day of sports betting. This is going to be for Thursday, October 20th slate of NFL action. I'm super excited to dive into it. We do have a decent game. I don't know exactly how the outcome is going to be, but I think overall it should be a pretty decent game. We do have the Saints traveling to Arizona to take on the Cardinals, and I actually do really like this game. Hopefully it ends up being a competitive game. Thursday night football and even Monday night football, both the primetime games have definitely kind of been let down. So hopefully this can be a very good game, one that we are going to be talking about in a good manner, as opposed to I can't believe I have to sit through another one of these like we've had the last couple of weeks. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive into it. We are still currently on the road to 7,000 subscribers at the time of recording this video. We're currently like 60 something away. I think it's like 65 something around there. But we had a very good day as of today, which at the time of recording this is on Tuesday. We had a really good day today. Gained a lot of subscribers back from the NBA, so if you guys are an NFL or an NBA sports bettor, make sure that you guys do hit that sub button. Once we end up hitting 7,000 subscribers, I will be doing a NBA jersey giveaway. You guys won't have to pay a single dime for the giveaway whatsoever. All you guys will have to do is just be subbed, and I'll give a little bit of details for it. We just have to be able to hit that 7,000 mark by the time of next Tuesday, so make sure that if you guys are new, make sure that you guys are subbed. Next, I just want to go ahead and give a quick shout out here to all of our members here on the channel. Thank you guys so much for everything that you guys do, and thank you guys so much for giving such a small channel such a big chance, as I always say. It truly does mean the absolute world to me, so much more than you guys will ever know. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive into a quick recap. As much as I would love to skip this, as much as I would love to just, completely not talk about this whatsoever, it is what it is. We did end up having the Chargers minus 4.5 versus the Broncos. Minus 110. That one did not end up working out. The Broncos were able to cover in this game. The Chargers just barely squeaked out the win. But the Broncos, they did keep the game close. They definitely fought until the very end. Then we had Josh Kelly over 20.5 rush yards versus Denver at plus 100. That play ended up getting voided for me. He didn't even have any rush attempts. So, it's just one of those things that there's nothing you can do about a voided bet. So at least you get your money back. At least I did for DraftKings. I actually had somebody message me on Twitter, and they were talking about how they didn't get it voided. I'm not 100% sure why they wouldn't have, but I ended up getting it voided. Then we had Mike Williams over 5.5 receptions at plus 100. Well, he only saw like 2 receptions over the course of the game. I guess I should have known that Surtain was going to be on him. I just thought that overall, I thought Mike Williams had a chance just for the receptions, nothing else. But it is what it is. We ended up going 0-2 on our plays, 0-2-1, however you really want to look at it. But overall, not a good day, But that's okay. We're gonna bounce back today. We're gonna clean the slate, and we're gonna start fresh. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive into today's plays. For my first player prop of the day, we're going with Zach Ertz, under 48.5 receiving yards at minus 113 odds. I like this line for quite a bit because Zach Ertz has been under this line in 4 out of the 6 weeks so far up, over the course of the season. And the Cardinals just recently acquired Robbie Anderson. Robbie Anderson is a pretty decent wide receiver. He's also going to be taking targets away from a guy like Zach Ertz. I think that this line is just a little bit too high. Arizona is also 16th when it comes to passing yards per game, so they're kind of in that middle tier. It's not like they're great when it comes to passing the ball. They're not bad. They're just kind of in that middle tier. But New Orleans, they are 15th when it comes to passing yards allowed, but when it comes to the tight end position, they're actually really good at taking away the tight end position. They allow the 5th fewest passing yards per game to opposing tight ends, and I definitely think that they're going to be focused in on a guy like Zach Ertz. Obviously, the Cardinals have a lot of weapons with DeAndre Hopkins, Rondale Moore, AJ Green, and Robbie Anderson now. But I think that with all those weapons, I think it's going to be tough for a guy like Zach Ertz to be able to hit almost 50 receiving yards. Not saying it's not possible, but against a New Orleans team that does a really good job at taking away the tight end position, I think that it's a pretty good spot here. So we're going to be riding with it for our first play of the day. Zach Ertz under 48.5 receiving yards at minus 113 odds. Now for our second play of the day, we're taking Alvin Kamara over 64.5 rushing yards here versus the Cardinals at minus 115 odds. Now, he is only 3-3 to this line. He definitely had a very, very bad start to the season. But if you take a look at his last 3 weeks, he's actually started to turn things around. He had 19 carries in week 4, 23 carries in week 5, and 15 carries in week 6. So he is starting to get that workload once again that he can definitely obtain, and I think that we are going to see that once again. Arizona, they do allow the 7th fewest rush yards per game. So if you take a look at that from a grand perspective, it doesn't look like a great bet. But they allow so many more rushing yards per game at home. They only allow 85 rushing yards per game on the road. Lockdown on the road. But at home, they allow 122 rushing yards per game. And I think Kamara is going to be the guy that is going to be able to get things done here. And it's a low over-under, which is, shocker. It's a Thursday night football game, so clearly everything so far this year has been all under. But it's a low over-under once again. If that's the case, I expect a lot of runs, especially from a guy like Kamara, and I just think that he is going to see close to that 20 carries, and I think he can get 75 or 65, maybe even 75. Who knows? But I definitely think that he can get 65 rushing yards. That seems like an absolute lock to me. So we're going to be riding with it for our second play of the day. Alvin Kamara over 64.5 rushing yards versus the Cardinals at minus 115 odds. Now, I felt like I had to go with the side once again. It's just something that I really enjoy doing. It's something that I love rooting for one team. We're going with the Saints, +1 here versus the Cardinals at minus 105. I do not mind taking the money line at plus value. I almost did it. But just in case if there is something where the Saints end up losing by exactly 1, I do want that push factor once again as well. But the Saints, they are 3-1 straight up in their last 4 matchups versus the Cardinals. The Saints have been actually really good versus the Cardinals in the last 4 matchups. Cardinals this year, they are just 1-2 against the spread at home this year, so it's not like they've been fantastic at home this year. And I know the Saints haven't been good either, but somebody has to cover in this game, and I just don't think that it's a good spot here for the Cardinals. New Orleans, they do have the 7th most rushing yards per game over the course of the entire NFL. Arizona, they're at 15th. So technically, New Orleans does have a better running game than Arizona. And New Orleans, when it comes to passing yards, they are 15th when it comes to passing yards per game. But they actually have so many more, they tally in so many more passing yards on the road than they do at home. If you take a look at home, 194 passing yards per game. Kind of, it's whatever. But on the road, they average 267.7 passing yards on the road, which is ranked 5th in the NFL for passing yards on the road. So definitely a great spot here for the Saints. And Arizona, they actually give up the 5th most total yards in the NFL. So they give up a lot of yards, and I just don't know if I think that the Saints defense is going to be able to lock it up, and I think that the Saints defense can go ahead and get it done here for us. So that's going to be our third and final play of the day. Saints +1 here versus the Cardinals at minus 105 odds. So that is going to do it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you guys do like, comment, subscribe. Like I said, we are still currently on the road to 7,000 subscribers, and if we end up hitting that by the time of next Tuesday, we'll be doing a pretty big NBA giveaway. So make sure that you guys are subbed. But that's going to do it for me. This is King Sarah signing out. Peace.